In the town of Haverston, hidden by fog and steeped in history, there was a local myth about a house on Klingwer Street. This ancient mansion, abandoned on the outskirts of town, was known as the House of Darkness. Legends said that the house was cursed and that within its walls lurked horrors that were best not known. The story began when a young boy named Thomas decided to put this myth to the test. He was an ambitious journalist, ready for anything for the sake of a big investigation. With camera and recording device in hand, he headed towards the House of Darkness. When Thomas first entered the abandoned building, the air seemed imbued with ancient secrets. The windows were boarded up, and only narrow beams of light penetrated, creating eerie shadows on the walls. Opening the door to the main room, he felt something breathing inside. He began to explore, taking pictures of every corner and writing down his observations. But the deeper he got into the house, the stranger things became. He heard unintelligible whispers and saw flickering shadows in the corners of his eyes. As night fell and Thomas continued his investigations, he sensed something sinister surrounding him. The sounds grew louder, and he began to feel the touch of invisible hands. He realized that the House of Darkness was not just an empty abandoned house, it was a place where the past came alive and became alive. Suddenly, Thomas heard a woman's voice called his name. The voice sounded sweet, but at the same time shrill and ominous. He followed the voice and entered a room lit only by the flicker of a candle. There he saw a woman in a Victorian dress, with loose black hair and a pale face. She smiled at him, but her eyes radiated a somber glow. She spoke his name again and headed toward him. Thomas felt unable to refuse this strange attraction. He tried to pull back, but something held him back. He raised his hand and touched the woman. Suddenly, everything disappeared. Thomas woke up on the street in front of the House of Darkness. His heart was beating hard, and he realized that he had just experienced something incredible. He realized that the myth of the House of Darkness was not just a fairy tale, but a real threat that beckoned those who dared to enter it. Thomas walked away from the answer, but never again did he forget his encounter with the woman in the Victorian dress and the place where darkness breathed and came to life. His investigation became the strangest and scariest of all, and he realized that many places in the world hold secrets that are better left unknown. Thomas returned to his town, but that night in the House of Darkness remained in his memory. He decided to tell his fellow journalists about his incredible experience, but no one believed him. Many thought his story was a fairy tale or a figment of imagination. However, Thomas was persistent and determined. He decided to return to the House of Darkness and try to solve the mystery that lurks within its walls. He began exploring the house again, this time with more serious equipment and companions. But when they entered the House of Darkness, they found themselves in a different world. The whole environment had changed. The walls of the house seemed to breathe. Footsteps sounded deafening, and the sky outside the window was eternal night. They were in a trap from which there was no escape. Thomas and his companions began to explore the house more thoroughly, trying to unravel its mysteries. They found ancient records and letters telling the history of the house. Long ago, a woman named Eleanor, who was a witch, lived here. She was imprisoned in this house and cursed to live forever in a dark world, bound to it. Eleanor was the same woman Thomas had seen on his first visit to the House of Darkness. She was a cohabitant of the darkness itself, and now longed to return to the world of the living, using Thomas and his companions as a sacrifice. With each step inside the House of Darkness, reality became more distorted and dangerous. Unexplained forces began to haunt them, and one by one the members of the group disappeared, consumed by darkness and disappearances. Thomas was alone. Memories of being trapped in this place came flooding back. He realized that the only way out was to unravel Eleanor's secrets and find a way back to the real world. Long and hard, Thomas explored the dark corners of the House of Darkness, uncovering its secrets and confronting the spirits of the past. Finally, he found an ancient artifact that could bring Eleanor back to the world of the living. With difficulty and fear, Thomas was able to use the artifact to send Eleanor back to the world of darkness, forever ridding the House of Darkness of her influence. Thomas returned to the real world, and the adventure left him with incredible memories that will stay with him forever. The Breathing Darkness proved to be a place where reality and myth intertwined, where darkness and light mingled. Thomas' story became a cautionary tale for those who dared to explore abandoned places and encounter worlds better left unknown. After his dangerous journey to the House of Darkness, Thomas decided not to tell anyone else about his adventure. He realized that his story was too implausible, and he had a hard time finding people to believe it. Instead, he began to investigate other places and phenomena related to the paranormal and occult, but always remained wary. As the years passed, Thomas became a respected author and journalist known for his publications on mysterious events and phenomena. His reputation was impeccable, but deep down he realized that there was much in this world that remained invisible to the eyes of ordinary people. He continued to investigate mysterious phenomena, but no longer risked entering worlds that could consume him. He became more prudent, more cautious, and encouraged others to be alert to the unknown. His experience in the House of Darkness became not just a story, but a lesson he carried into the world. Thomas also realized that there are many incredible and mysterious places in the world that can be both scary and beautiful. He continued to explore and publish his work, hoping that his stories could warn others against dangerous travel and help them better understand the mysterious aspects of the world. Thomas was never able to forget the woman in Victorian dress he encountered in the House of Darkness. Her face and voice still haunted him in nightmares and dreams. He knew she was part of something unimaginable, and that knowledge never left him. So Thomas continued his journey through the world of the unknown, ever more vigilant and cautious, but always ready to uncover the secrets behind the darkness. His story became a legend, but for him it remained a living memory that the breathing darkness is always ready to swallow those who choose to plunge into it.